Professor Sterling Brown.
Oh, yes.
Sterling Brown remains as much a hero to me in my old age as he was when I was a freshman at Howard University. He wrote bitterly eloquent attacks on racism, and yet when I was preparing to go off to Harvard, he said to me, "Don't come back here to tell me you didn't make it, because white folks were mean."
Yes.
Close quote. Sterling Allen Brown, who's known to the rest of us as an important poet, a literary figure, you knew him how? And
I took 2 classes from him. One was in literature, but one was in creative writing. And a number of people who took his classes have gone on to become well-known writers, by the way. I knew nothing. I didn't know he was a writer or anything else when I took his class.
I see. So what did he mean when he said to you, you knew that he knew that racism existed because he wrote about it?
Yes.
And yet he said, what's he saying? He's saying, don't let it hold you back? What is he saying to you?
That's right. And he was essentially burning my bridges behind me so that I wouldn't dare show my face on Howard University campus if I didn't make it at Harvard.
I see. So you can't stand self-pity. Is that part of what's going on here?
Partly, yeah.
And somehow or other, the Liberal Project plays on pity.
Yes. And in fact, in the book that I'm writing now, I discovered this is true not only in the United States, it's true in England, and the situation is wholly different. And yet, if you read the data, for example, from London, the educational tests and so forth, you see that there, immigrants from Africa pass this test they have. I'm talking about low-income people now. Nearly 60% of the time. Blacks from Caribbean, like 50%, so on. Native-born whites in the same low-income bracket pass this test 30% of the time. And it's the same thing. The foreign people come in, they haven't had generations of being steeped in the welfare state vision, the vision of grievances, victimology, and resentments, the idea that there are enemies out there dedicated to keeping you down. That's the message that's been pumped into the head of the white lower class in Britain, and that's the image that's been pumped into the black low-income people in the United States, and the results are the same in both cases.
What would Sterling Allen Brown want to say to Al Sharpton and the protesters in Ferguson today? What would you say to them, to Al Sharpton and?
Well, I'm sure it couldn't be repeated on television, but I would say nothing actually.
Why is that?
I am sure that Jesse Jackson makes 10 times as much money a year as I do. And I don't think I should take on the project of convincing somebody to reduce his income by 90%.